What is going on, everybody? It is your man sneaking behind you, and we are back again after a few weeks. Been busy the last couple weeks, so really haven't had a chance to get our stream going here. I tried to do a stream last week, but really didn't get a lot of feedback on it. Just starting the channel, obviously we're not going to get a lot of people. So, it is what it is. Just go down the side of the mountain here. But today, we're actually going to talk about some of the funny things that I saw in the fleet. Now, some of you may know, some of you might have watched my initial video of, oh crap. Oh no, I died. Oh, that's the gist of it. But some of y'all might have watched my initial video, know that I had started my Marine Corps career at 2nd Battalion 7th Marine, so Infantry Battalion. So, obviously there are quite a few stories that might relate to Infantry Battalion. I'm sure you've heard a couple other guys on here that have had little interesting stories, so I'm going to share mine, just for the heck of it. I actually remember, one of the times I can remember, this was after I had gotten married and living off base in the off base at 29 Palms. So it's base housing, but it's off base. Still run by the military, still got to abide by the same kind of rules, but you're not actually on the base. So every morning I'd come in a little earlier since I was a corporal at the time, and I would go into one of my buddy's rooms, and I knew he was usually getting up. He was a Lance Corporal, but he came in about the same time as me, so he knew what was going on. We already did a few tours together, so we knew exactly what we were doing. And go into his room one morning. I know this had been a Monday, so Monday being is what it is. Figure Marines are drinking all weekend, so you figure they're probably some might be a little hungover. Not a big deal, whatever, right? I come into his room. His roommate is laying on the bed, passed out. I assume because he is drunk still. However, I do notice that the shower is running. Now, in these particular barracks in 29 Palms, you shared adjoining bathrooms, or adjoining rooms, joined by one bathroom. So you had a neighbor, so you shared that bathroom. So there's one stand-up shower. So, hear the shower running, and I kind of questioned, why is the shower running? It's kind of weird, considering both of them are still chilling out in bed, waiting for, to actually wake up for the day. I walk back there, and I notice he has his sheets and his pillows, basically everything they give you in the barracks. They issue you a couple sheets, a blanket, a pillow, and that's the stuff that you're issued. You can use your own comfort stuff, but you are required for field day and health and comfort to actually have that sheet and blanket.
I see a second target.
I notice all this stuff is piled in the shower. Now this has kind of piqued my interest because I'm like, okay, why are his sheets and basically everything he slept on in the shower? And turns out he got so piss drunk that he decided in the middle of the night that he needed to use the restroom. So, being very, very inebriated, he decided to, in his drunken stupor, stand up on his bed and proceed to piss all over everything. On his pillow, his blanket, everything that he had. I'm in trouble. And he, in his drunken stupor, took all his stuff and put it in the shower to wash the piss smell off of it. So, that was an interesting day. This was also the same guys that, when I was on duty one weekend, came around the corner, didn't think nothing of it, the door was shut, but I heard music playing, so I knocked on the door to see what they were doing. They had gotten a child's blow-up pool. One of the ones that's like 2 feet tall. It's one of the blow-up ones that say they're about 6 foot by 4 foot. They had it in their room, and they were making what we like to call jungle juice. Basically, it is fruit, it is a lot of liquor, and yeah. Not going to mention any names because, yeah. Granted, they're all out now, so it doesn't really matter. That was quite a few different stories. One of the ones that honestly do not I just can't get it out of my mind because it was just something you kind of just look at that like you are just like in your mind when you think about the Marine Corps. That is one of the stories on duty that I just grained in my head. Before I PCS to my next unit, I had picked up corporal, and I was only one of I believe 3 or 4 of us, if I remember correctly, in the company. Not a big deal until it came time to where certain junior enlisted Marines were messing up on duty, so they decided to NCOs only for duty NCOs. So you know what that means? Every 4 days, you had duty. So we got to see some crazy stuff. However, one night kind of sticks in my mind, and some of the Marines, I'd say most of the Marines probably know exactly what I'm talking about with a barracks rat. Every grunt barracks has them. I'm sure every pogue barracks has them too. I'm sure it's not just included in the grunts, but you see probably a lot more in the grunts. There was a particular barracks rat that most of us knew. She worked down at the coffee shop at the PX. She was a little barista at the little push cart. She always served everybody coffee and all that. So everybody knew who she was. If not by name, by just seeing her, you knew who she was. And by the fact that she was living on base, there was a good chance she was either married to a Marine or she somehow got the job. I don't know how that would work, but somehow she got the job. Well, on the weekends, some of these girls tend to walk into the grunt barracks. You walk into a grunt barracks, you know what's going down. You know what's gonna. You obviously, if a random girl by herself, without any male person with her, which would be a boyfriend, is walking around that barracks, especially later in the afternoon and evening, on a weekend or even on a weekday for that matter, you know what's going down. It's not. Obviously she's looking for something. And it's not a secret by any stretch of the imagination. So, I believe this was on a Saturday, if I remember correctly. Because, of course, married guy, you have duty on a Saturday, can't spend the time with your wife. Can't do it during the week when everybody's working. So, I'm patrolling the barracks, doing what I'm supposed to, all that good stuff. And I come around the corner, and I see a few Marines standing outside this door. Kind of a nice little line. Usually you don't see that unless you're in formation. Never happens. So curiosity gets the better of me, and I kind of like, what are these guys doing in here? And I'm sure some of y'all are thinking what I'm about to get ready to tell you. There was something going on. One of them barracks rats had gotten up in the barracks and basically proceeded to let a small squad go at her in train formation. And it was something that I thought I'd never see. You never think in your mind that you would probably see something like that. And it just kind of sits there. It sits there, and you just something you probably never plan on seeing in the Marine Corps. I'm sure some guys that's probably the dream for them to be able to do something like that while they're in the service. But trust me, it wasn't as glamorous as everybody thought it was. It kind of, as a duty, I definitely had to look at that, like, what is going on here? I don't know. Guys, could you move it inside the room? And that's about all I had to do with it, because I was not getting myself involved in that by any strain of the imagination. I didn't have anything to do with it. But yeah, that was a very interesting night for everybody. I do believe this was also the night that, see, let me explain. When you're on duty, so some of you who aren't military don't know what duty is. Duty is basically a 24-hour post. You are posted in the barracks with an A duty usually a junior Marine, Lance Corporal, PFC, whatever it may be. But you are posted in there with another Marine. So usually it's a 24-hour post. So obviously you're not going to get a lot of sleep. But when you do get some sleep, usually you stay in the barracks, or in my case, I figured, okay, I live right off base. Not a big deal. I will go to my house. I have my phone and everything. It's not a big deal. However, this night it was a big deal. Not really a big deal, but it was something that we kind of learned a lesson from. Went home, went to bed, got a phone call on the other end, first sergeant. Now this first sergeant, he was a very good Marine. He's very chill. He had the big boy rule. Take care of yourselves. He ain't gonna get in your business. Plain and simple. Very easy.
Got another tango.
Had no problem with him. Gives me a call. Tells me to get dressed and get back to the barracks. I'm like, all right. I'm sitting there going, oh, okay, something happened. Obviously, I'm in trouble. Whatever. However, come to find out here that said Marine, some PFC, I think, if I can remember correctly, it's been a little while. Some Marine decided to get drunk and pick a fight with another Marine. In this fight, he thought it was a good idea to pull out his pocket knife and try to stab another Marine. This was definitely not a good idea by any stretch of the imagination. By the time I got dressed, got to the barracks, got in my car, got to the third, I think we were on the second or third floor if I remember correctly. PMO had already shown up. They had this guy in handcuffs. First sergeant stand there, give me the evil eye. And I'm just expecting just a literal tidal wave of just crap rolling my way at this point. Surprisingly, that was not the case. Because he understood what I was doing. I hadn't gone very far from the barracks. I had my A duty there, so it was not a big problem. It was just a lesson learned for me. That was between that and the train, that was probably two of the craziest things I've seen in the barracks. When you're on duty, you see, compared to just staying in your barracks room or going out, drinking or whatever with your buddies, you see a lot more stuff when you're on duty because you're constantly out there roving. You're constantly doing something. You're interacting with people, doing your job basically. Duty is pretty. I mean, there were nights where duty was nice. You had a good night. Other nights it was just especially on the weekends. The weekends were by far the craziest because obviously Marines are still going to drink. Whenever it happens, Marines drink. But on the weekends, they drink a lot more. And that made a lot more fun. That gave a lot more fun to duty because you're keeping Marines that are very, very inebriated in their rooms. And that becomes a very fun time for the duty.
That's 10 targets.
Ooh, right in the head. I bet that felt good at close range. Anyways, guys, this will be the first of 2 videos I'm probably going to put out today. I'm going to try to get 2 put out, kind of just get them out of the way. But this is kind of my loadout. I'm in the white now because it's snowing out, so white camo. Got to change. Got to be kind of realistic. Don't want to run out with a tricolor. But I'll try to put out another video today with this one as well, talking about just another off-the-wall topic. Please like and subscribe to my Facebook and YouTube, Sneaking Gaming. We'll get more videos going. We'll get some live streams going. And once I get my stupid camera to start working correctly and get everything set up, I'll get that working. If anybody has any knowledge of the headliners with the Elgato streamer, how to put headlines and tags on there and get your camera paired up with it, that would be great. Get a little help in the comments section. Maybe someone to help me out. Just give me a few tips. That would be great. Anyways, guys, this is Sneaking Behind You, out.